Friday, and for some reasons, yeah, it is a Friday, Tyler. You're going to reduce. I don't want to eat that. You reduce sound. You reduce sound. Reduce sound. Reduce sound. So we are going to be washing Tyler's uniform. Today is a Friday, and no. Today is a Sunday. Yeah, sorry. Today is a Sunday, and for some reasons, I'm just washing his uniform now. It's a Sunday. Tomorrow is Monday. So as you know, look at this. Look at this. Very, very dirty. I think you cannot see it there properly, but look at it. Very, very dirty. So it is a Sunday. Tomorrow is a Monday. Look at this. Look at this. Very dirty. Tyler, you come. Why do you dirty yourself so much like this? Look at your uniform. It's very dirty. Why do you dirty it like that?
Because I fall.
Because you fall. No, you dirty it so much. That is not good. I don't like it when your uniform is very dirty. So you see him here. He's the one who messes up everything really crazy. So now, Tyler, tomorrow is Monday. So you're supposed to go to school when you're clean. So we are going to wash the uniform. Last week I did not wash your sweater. So today I'm going to wash it.
Okay.
But Tyler, you dirty your uniform so much. That is not good.
Yeah.
Where is your other vest? Yeah, the other one. There are supposed to be two of them. Where did you put it? It's not there. Even your stockings. You go bring your stockings.
My stockings in my studio.
Yeah, you go bring them. So we are going to be washing uniform. Yeah, we are doing it on Sunday because we are a little bit lazy. You bring all the stockings, yeah? We are a little bit lazy, so we do things at the last minute, and we are okay with it. We are okay with it, doing things at the last minute. Let me see, how many are there? 1, 2, 3. We have only 3 stockings. We lost the other one. I don't know where it is. So we use 3 stockings, which is very okay. So I'm always here with Tyler. So now I don't have liquid soap, so I use this one here. Why? Because where I stay, getting liquid soap is kind of tricky. I stay in the bushes, off grid. So being off grid, getting liquid soap is not this side. So when I get it, yeah, I can use it. But for now, we don't have. So we use what? This is called what? Omo. Yeah, we use Omo, which is very okay. Yeah.
You're going to mommy.
Where? No. So one thing I noticed is if you want these clothes to get really clean, yeah, if you want the uniform to get really clean, you have to first hand wash. If you hand wash, then this thing will help you a little. So I always have to hand wash for some good minutes so that the most dirty parts are really clean. So I hand wash, but the uniform is really dirty. And Tyler is telling me he fell down. Tyler, you are telling me why is the uniform so dirty? Because you ran. But it is really very dirty. This is not good. So I had forgotten to wash the uniform for some reasons. I was a little bit busy. So already time check. I think it is 5 something. It's getting late. So if I don't wash them now, it will be very crazy. Today I went and I read up something, by the way, tunyunyemo kumbozi, about marriage and why, if you think it is being religious to go to church and get married, these people lied to us. You know why? Because we're not building this bond. It is between the states. Yeah. You know, now I'm advocating people not to get married, mostly when it comes to church, and then legalizing it by the government or the states. I'm against that. Let me put this like this. You see me, Bulunji. Yeah, like that. So I've made some research, and this research is saying that when you get married, in the Bible, it is not written anywhere. In the Bible, it is not written anywhere that the government will have to validate people's getting married. When you're doing your courtship, yeah, when you're vibing each other, most of the times the government is not involved. When you're surprising this lady or this woman and you're trying to make her accept you and all the money that you spend, yeah, you take her out, you know, surprise her, give her gifts. The government is always not involved. But now when you're getting married, the government, or you can call it a state, it wants to get involved because they have to register you as married people. I wish you guys can give me attention and you listen very carefully to what I'm going to be telling you. You're going to notice that marriage, more so in church, it is a scam. If you're so religious, whether you're a Muslim, you're a Catholic, you're a born-again Christian, there is nowhere in the Bible where it is validated that you should get married in church and then the government registers you as married people. It is not written anywhere. So this is what happens. You can only understand if you stay a little bit longer. Whatever I'm saying it slowly because I want you guys to really understand what I'm talking about. So the states, remember, I'm talking to the people who are so religious, yeah? The born again, the Catholics and all whatever, as long as you're so religious and you feel like God will feel bad if you fornicate, or how do they call it? In case you stay together as married people, have kids, and then you didn't go to church or mosque or whatever you can call it. It is not written anywhere in the holy books that in case you don't go to church, then your marriage is not validated. As per the Bible, if you get a woman whom you really, really, really love, what you have to do, you have to go to the girl's parents and then you have to pay dowry. The Bible really accepts that. You pay dowry, you basically give them whatever they ask for. But remember, in this statement, I'm saying the government is not involved. What we call the traditional marriage is really accepted by the holy books. It doesn't matter which holy book you believe in. But these things of going to church and then these holy places, church, mosque, what? You want tea? First wait, Tyler. Let me first wash your uniform. It is getting late. It has to be clean, yeah? Let me first wash the uniforms. When they are clean, then we are going to make tea, right? So at the end of the day, when you go to all those holy places and you want to validate your marriage because you think that's what really God accepts, that is not true. The Bible only believes in our traditional marriage because all these holy books, they want you to go to a woman's parents, and you officially take her as you give out the dowry. There is nowhere in the holy books it is written that the government or the state, it has to validate your marriage. Now, this is where it gets worse. When you get married, it is now the state or the government that connects the husband and the wife, and then they validate your marriage. But it is not God. You get the point? Because with God, or whoever you believe in, they believe, go to this woman's parents, ask for their daughter's hand in marriage, and then they have to accept. That's what all the holy books believe in. But now, their God is involved. But now, because you're not involving God and you're involving a state or a government, whom are the ones validating your marriage, now that is not holy marriage because God is not involved. Now, that's why they decided you have to go to church, mosque, or whatever, and then you have to sign a given paper for the government to validate your marriage. Are you getting me? Are you getting me? We are being spiritual and we are being genuine. I wish you can put up a comment if you want to ask any questions. I've made research about these things. Being a single dad, I started thinking and doing research about the things that I really believed in, and I really believed in marriage. But marriage is a scam. It is a scam. These are state international laws that they put up that cannot be validated by all the holy books. It is not the state to validate your marriage, really. As long as the parents give you their daughters and they tell you, go get married, we accept you, there is nowhere the state is involved. Now, why does the state get involved? For the people who have been following, I've been talking about these things. And I've told you why the state really wants to get involved. So now you see that what you take, Tyler, don't make noise. I'm making my videos. Have you heard? Tyler, don't make noise. So at the end of the day, what you take as holy marriage, it's basically not holy marriage. Holy marriage is only when you go to the parents of this woman and you talk to them and you tell them, I want your daughter's hand in marriage. The Bible and all the holy books allow that. But it is not written anywhere that the government had to validate your marriage. Now, when you get a fight, because everything that has a beginning has its end, because it is the state that validated your marriage, now when things don't work out, because everything that has a beginning has an end, so now when you want to go for a divorce, guess who now you're going to report to? You're not going to report to God. You're not going to go to this woman's parents, but now you're going to go to a state. Are you getting what I'm saying? Now, lawyers, judges are going to get involved. Was this really a holy marriage, where now the government, or you can call it the state, which is involved in your divorce. But initially, when you are in the time of courtship, these guys were not involved. When you were doing beautiful and nice things for this girl and giving her gifts, the government wasn't there. But now you've reached a time of divorce, and now you have to report to government with lawyers. That is not holy marriage. Are you getting what I'm saying? That is not holy marriage. Most of the things we know, most so as Africans, are stereotyped. Tyler,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
I'm going to kids.
You're going to the kids, okay. I don't want you to come back crying, right? So, at the end of the day, most of the things, even religion itself, churches, mosques, was all a scam. When you grow up, you start thinking about these things. You start thinking straight, and you're not forced. True, God exists, but now the states call it international law. They really put up things which are not true. And they lie to us because in one way or the other, the state, call it a government, they benefit out of it. Remember, there is a wife here, there is a husband here. And God is supposed to be the base. But now, there is no any connection between a wife and a husband, which is direct. But, and God is involved in between, but there is a husband, a wife, who have to go through the states, call it a government, and then it bonds the two of you. So now when you go through the divorce, you have to go through the state and not God or Allah or whatever you believe in. So now you see what I'm talking about? So if it is called the so-called holy, why is it the lawyers, the judge, the government, call it a state, all these guys are involved? And it is not God who is involved because you call it holy marriage. Are you getting my point? So, me, I'm of a thought, and I'm like, guys, if we've grown up and you're 30 years or 25 years and above, why would you have to go to a mosque? That would be okay, yeah? But where you have to go to, as long as the woman's parents accept and you give them dowry, that is what is holy. That's what all the holy books talk about. As long as her parents accept you to take their daughter in marriage, that is all is needed for it to be holy. But it is not the state or the government that is supposed to validate your marriage. You get my point? The state wanted to validate it because they benefit something. They make money out of it. But that is not holy marriage. Make your woman proud by going to her parents. The Bible, all the holy books, even the Quran, that is holy marriage. I've made research. You go make research, get your AI, ask it, and whatever I'm telling you is the truth. So, these things of the government being involved in your marriage, and you think that is what is called holy marriage, it is not. It is not. I've made research. I'm a single dad of 3 years now. I'm washing my son's uniform. It is almost coming to 6. But as you know, we do things at the last minute. But at the end of the day, as long as the uniform dries, that is the most important thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, those things you take as holy, these guys just basically scammed us because they were benefiting something out of it. The holy marriage is when the parents of this woman accept you to take their daughter in marriage, and you've given them dowry. All the holy books talk about that. But now, why is it that the government really wants to get involved? Because remember, I told you, if it is holy as you call it, there is a husband and a wife. Who connects them here in between? It's supposed to be God or whatever you believe in. But now, guess what? It is not God who is involved. It is the government. Call it the state that connects a husband and a wife and not being direct. So now, when you're going through divorce and you're having fights, you keep reporting to the state, call it the government, and you don't talk to God to talk to your husband. That is not holy marriage. Ha ha! Are you getting what I'm saying? You will get it slowly by slowly. You will get it. These guys scammed us. They lied to us. And all we Africans, because everything that we know, we were just told. So we believe what these guys told us. But have you ever taken time to think about it? And you're like, why is it these things are the way they are? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I think we don't have power. Ah la 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 la. No power. No power, so I have to wait. You get what I'm saying? So, no power. So I have to wait. No power. So, these guys lied to us. But I have to wash my caps. We are going to go out. I wash my caps. They lied. They lied. They scammed us. They scammed us. So when it comes to education, it was the same thing. Now marriage, it is still the same thing. They lied to us. There is no power, by the way. So I have to wait until power comes back, then I wash Tyler's uniform. What I'm sure of course, it is late, but I'm very sure it will dry. So where should we? Let's go up here. Let's go. I wash from up here. I want to wash my cap. Only one. Today I'm only washing Tyler's uniform. So guys, marriage things, these guys lie to us. Why is it that it is the government that really wants to validate our marriage? It's because by now that's why in some countries they always want to know, are you married? If you're married, then they will give you their visas, because they know people who are married will work a little bit harder. You work hard, to sustain this family. Yo, this Abedika Kakoza. Kakoza, what's up? I'm talking about marriage. And I'm telling you that these people lied to us. That holy marriage is when you go to church. But as per all the holy books, it is not written anywhere that the government had to really justify or validate your marriage. So if you think going to church, then God has accepted, or he thinks that is what is called holy marriage, it was a lie. All the holy books, Qur'ani, Bible, whatever you're having, it believes in you going to this woman's parents, give them dowry, whatever they tell you, do that. That is what is called a holy marriage. But going in church and, the government validating your marriage, that is not holy. Why is it not holy? Because it is registered by the state, call it the government. You get what I'm saying? I'm washing my cap, yeah? You get what I'm saying? Even all the holy books, when someone wanted to get married, they always had to give out what we call dowry. And that is the only thing that all the holy books believe in. But now the state wanted to validate your marriage. Because you imagine, if you were in courtship, during courtship, the government wasn't there. When you're giving this girl all the gifts and then you're going for vacations and you're trying to sweet talk car, the government wasn't involved and it didn't pay any of those bills. But now that you're getting married, the government wants to get involved and you have to register your marriage. Are you from Uganda? Yes, I'm from Uganda. Ndi Uganda. Hey, I use English because I want to communicate to different people. I'm from Uganda. I'm in Uganda even currently. Yes, boss. Kakoza, Ndi Uganda. Era wendi kati, I'm a single dad. I stay with my son. And because of some reasons, when things didn't work out with the baby mama, I started making research because in my life, the only thing I really wanted was to get married because I had never been in a family setup. I had never been with a father and mother and, as the children. So I grew up wanting only that. I want to have a setup of a mother, father, because I'd never heard it. So now, when things didn't work out with my son, then I got a thinking and I'm like, why is it that I love this so much? So I started making research. Some are angry, yeah. Some are angry, yeah. Some are angry because I'm seeing you there. So at the end of the day, this thing, why is it that the government really wants to get involved? Is because they make money out of marriages. The government makes a lot of money when you get married. The government makes money when you have kids. When you have kids, the government makes money. When you get married, the government makes money. That was not the holy person, whoever you believe in, whether it is God or Allah. He wasn't putting up two people for finance benefit. No, he was doing it for the two people to subdue this earth. Muzare mware. That was the whole concept. And then a man to have someone they could love and like and, be together to empower each other. But now the government came in to make it a finance thing. That when you reach a moment and you want to have a divorce, they are making money. You get my point? They are making money. But that wasn't the intent of whoever you believe in, whether it is Allah, Maria, God, or Jesus. That wasn't the intent. But now these guys changed the whole scenario. I'm sorry for some of the people, you will not understand the things I'm talking about. I talk like I'm talking in parables. But the whole point, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to tell you is never think that getting married in a religious way, that will make it holy. There is no holy book that talks about those things of going in mosques and going in churches. The only thing to make it holy was you to go to the parents of this woman, talk to them, give them dowry, and then they accept you. That is what is holy. Holy marriage wasn't for the government to validate. Now, why is it that it is the husband and the wife are supposed to be validated for marriage through the state or the government? No, then that is not holy. Holy is between a wife, a husband, and then the parents of the wife. You get my point? Go make research. Ask your AI. Then you will understand. You get my point? So those things of holy marriage, it is the government that set up those things. But those things are not true. I'm telling you, those things are not true. So don't think that because you went to church, you went to mosque, eh, eh, eh. Wait. Eh. What has happened? Water is not here. Is it out? Allah. I don't know. Water is not coming. Let's go back inside. I think water is out. This will be really very bad. So, I don't know if you're getting my point, but whatever I'm saying, Tyler, what is that you're taking? You don't leave them at kids, yeah? You come back with them because those are your toys, right? Yeah, don't give them to kids. I think my water is out of the tank. That will be really very bad. Let's check here. Tyler might have played with it. So you get the point. Now here it is coming. Here water is coming. The other side it's not coming. I don't know what has happened. I'm just rinsing my cap. I love caps a lot because my hair is always disorganized. So guys, are you getting my point? So these things of Simanya, marriage, you know, we have to go to church because you're so religious and you believe that's what God believes in, or Allah, or whatever you believe in. Whatever you believe in, as long as you get the consent from the woman's parents or guardians, then that is holy. You get what I'm saying? That is holy. But now the government being involved or the state being involved, that doesn't make it holy. As I told you, and we talk about the international laws, those guys did those things for their own reasons. And those reasons are monetary. Those reasons are monetary. I'm telling you. So never be there, because they call it even the so-called kaondo kakuye dinisa in Uganda. Hey, muli kaondo kakuye dinisa. Just make sure you go to the parents of this, your so-called wife, and you tell them, I'm having your daughter. What is it that you need? You have to pay dowry. That's a must. That's a must. You have to pay dowry. And when the parents accept, that is holy. In the Bible, did you see anyone, or in the Quran, or in all those holy books, have you ever seen any of those people go to the so-called worship places to validate their marriage? Have you seen it? But God talks about these people paying dowry, bringing a lot of cows and animals to the parents of to the parents of this woman that you want to get married to. That's what is done. Truthfully speaking, that's what is done. So this thing is a lie, just like education. Education is also a lie. These are the things that these whites brought to us to manipulate us. And that's why we are backward, given the fact that we have good weather, we have good climate, we are endowed with a lot of resources, but we don't use none of those things. Why? Because they stereotyped us, and these things, even up to now, some of us still believe in them. You think going to school and then learning English, then that will make you more educated? No, that is also a lie. These guys did a lot of lies. They manipulated us, and so bad that we believe in these things up to now. education, then we have a setup, and then people are paying millions of shillings. Think about it. They pay millions of shillings for these kids to go to school to learn what? We were supposed to be job creators. That is it. We were supposed to be job creators. We were supposed to survive minus working for no one. But now things change. But again, those things can change. You can change them. Now we have exported labor. Yeah, people leave Uganda and then they go to those other countries because they are looking for a living. Have you ever thought about it? Let me tell you something. Don't judge me wrongly, but I want you to tell me what you think. Imagine, of all the creation that God did, yeah, of all the creation that God did, it is only the human beings that are having a lot of intelligence. We have a lot of intelligence, but you know, it is only the human beings that pay for their shelter. Think about it. With a lot of intelligence, but it's only the human beings that pay for their shelter. The birds wake up early in the morning and then they build a nest somewhere. Yeah. And they build a nest somewhere and they start living there. They don't pay nothing. The fish, very stupid fish, it goes down there. It doesn't pay rent to live in the waters. But it's only the humans that have to pay for their stay on earth. We pay. You have to either pay rent or you're supposed to buy land. You're supposed to pay where you live. And we are the most intelligent beings that God ever created. Think about it. Think about it. But we pay for our space. Who sold these people earth? Who sold them earth? Who? Who sold them earth that now we have to pay rent, we have to buy land? Who gave it to this first person? It means we are the most dense and stupid people. Land was supposed to be free. God created it. I don't know which holy book said, and then he went and bought land. All the holy books say, and then God gave Abraham. He gave them. And then we have to pay for these things. Are we mad people? If the insects don't pay to live, it is only the human beings that have to pay for their space to live where they have to live. Isn't that concerning? Isn't it concerning? Put it in the comments. Maybe I'm the one running crazy. Am I running crazy? Maybe I'm mad. But think about what I'm telling you. Then these people brought education. And then we have to learn about everything. But even when we are done with education, we don't have employment. But we were supposed to be survivors, just like in the ancient times. The elderly would sit down on a campfire and then they talk to their sons and daughters, and then they would teach the kids, yeah? Mr. Ama, Chuku, how you doing? We were supposed to go, you know, when a man was going to get food, that is hunting, then the sons, the young boys would follow them. You know, they would follow them and they teach them how to hunt. That is getting food. Then the kids, the girls were taught how to raise the kids and the young ones when they give back at that moment. So the men were raised and they were taught how to support and provide for the families, as the women were taught and they were taught how to raise up the kids. So now we go to school and we are learning all these things, and we end up being jobless and we don't know how to do the first things of life. Yeah, Ama, Mr. Ama, what's up? From which country are you coming from, Ama? I want to know the country you're coming from, Mr. Ama. So at the end of the day, as I told you, that in the God's creation or whatever you believe in, of our existence. We are the most intelligent. As humans, we are the most intelligent. But we pay for our space to sleep. You either pay rent or you bought that land. Isn't that concerning? That there is no other being with the insects, the fish, and the birds, and the animals that pay for their space. You get what I'm saying? Think about it. So these people stereotyped us really, really crazy. And then we followed them and we believed in them. Now, they brought the religion. Yeah? They brought religion. Isn't it really concerning? I told you anything that the government is involved in is basically involved in because they make money. I started, for the people who didn't watch when I was starting, I told you marriage is a scam. For your marriage to be holy, it doesn't mean you have to go to church or in any holy place for it to be holy. All the holy books quote me well. They talk about you going to the parents of this woman you're going to get married to, and then they give you the consent to marry their daughters. You get the point? They give you the consent to marry their daughters. That is holy. But now, why is it that the state, call it the government, is supposed to be involved? And when you get divorced and when things don't work out, you have to go through the government then to talk. You see, now you've removed the bridge of God, whom you're supposed to be talking to. Are you getting what I'm saying? When we grow up, then we have to start thinking for ourselves. The biggest thing that I've learned when I came off grade, I've been alone for like 3 years now. And I started meditating and thinking about all these things. And I've come to realization that these guys are really lying to us. And most of the things they told us was really a lie. And we still believe some of these lies. And some of the people think that's how it's supposed to be. One thing I've learned, let me tell it to you. One thing I've learned is when we are growing up and then they teach us all these things, yeah? Unlearning them is the hardest. Unlearning. Because they told us we have to go through an education system whereby all kids are supposed to go to school. Now, because we grew up like that, that is the kind of mentality we have. Unlearning it, and we are like, we can raise kids off that system. It is the hardest. Because whoever you will talk to, they will think you're mad. You tell them, no, this education system they brought of going to school, learning English, and then learning all these things, it was a lie. Because you imagine, if you are a carpenter, if you are a builder, if you are a driver, do you really have to go to school and then you have to get qualification again still from the government, the state, and then they have to validate whether you know something or not? Isn't it concerning? And when you go to get a job, then they ask for your qualification. Isn't it really concerning? Why is it that if you know something, you know, yes, I know some of you could be like, it is a system. Yes, it is a system. Yes, I understand that they brought up. But is it supposed to be that way? No. Is it supposed to be that way? No. It is something that they came up with. Anything, I told you earlier, anything that the government gets involved in is basically they want to make money out of it. They just want to make money out of it. Anything. And guess what? They are involved almost in everything. So if you can bypass them, the better. Who said that when someone is going to build a house, you're supposed to get a permit from government? Think about it. Why? If they are so concerned with their citizens, and these are international laws, it applies everywhere. They set up a system, and we are supposed to follow that system. Aren't we mad, really? Aren't we mad? And when someone comes out and they start saying the things I'm saying, they'll be like, now that one is deviating. We are humans and citizens of our country, whereby our countries are controlling us like a game. Yeah? Like a game, like a PlayStation. They are controlling us. And guess what? When you move out of the system, you'll be more free. You'll be more free if you move out of that system. Hallelujah. Everything they brought up, it was a lie. You cannot tell me, you wake up in this 21st century and you pay for everything. Entertainment was supposed to be free. You pay for that decoder, Star Times or DSTV, you pay for it, you pay for internet, then you have to pay for your water. You go to pee, you go to a toilet, lose, and then you have to flush. That's a bill. You watch TV, that's a bill. Where you stay as a human being, that's a bill. The clothes we put on, that's a bill. Your hair, that's a bill. All these things were supposed to be free. Are you understanding where I'm going? All those things were supposed to be free. All, imagine, think about, with all the beings in the water, on land, and even in the air, they don't pay for their space to live there. And the most intelligent being that whoever you call him the creator did was a human being. And then we have to pay for our space, and we have to pay for everything, and we are supposed to be intelligent. The dogs, the insects, the fish, the birds, they don't pay for using their space. This was given freely. Why do we have to pay for it? It is because those guys came here, they stereotyped us, and we are being played like a PlayStation. It is so worrying that even the husbands we get, the wives we get, it's also another bill. You get married, it's a bill that you're supposed to pay for the rest of your time to live. What if we get out of